ready then. Go, go, go.
Hey guys, it's Ihasnotomato here, and welcome back to Anticipating the Pyro update with Aaron.
With Aaron.
Woo!
With Aaron.
So today we're going to be talking about rebalances and weapons that we want changes and ideas for changes. Now, obviously there's a lot of Pyro weapons. We have a list here that we want to talk about, we want to change, and we want to, talk about how they could be changed. But first I think we should go over a couple other weapons for other classes. Now, in the last episode we briefly talked about the Loch-n-Load.
Just make my baby back to where he was. Just do it. Like, it's a good weapon, right? And I'm not denying its usability. It's still a good weapon. The problem is, I have a problem with weapons that don't look how they act. For example, the Loch-n-Load has three shots and 2 barrels.
Yeah, it pisses me off too. Look, every fucking grenade launcher is like that, except the...
Actually, the stock one...
the Iron Bomber.
No, the stock one has... Oh, actually, no.
Stock one's got 6 slots.
6 slots, but
only fires 4 shots.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off. It was always like that, and it pisses me off to this day.
The Iron Bomber does... Honestly, that's kind of one of the reasons why I use it a lot. Is because
exactly. It actually looks like it makes sense.
I mean, other than the fact it's supremely useful.
I don't know how OP it would be to actually add an extra 2 slots to the grenade launcher, but I'd almost like, all right, I take it, I just want it to look like how it is, Oh god.
Well, all you would have to do is you'd have to give the stock more ammo.
That's what I'm saying.
Or either that or just increase its clip size. But that's the thing, you only get 12 shots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't even get to reload.
You reload once, but then you've got 2 extra shots.
I don't know.
Or just like change the look of the grenade launcher.
Yeah, I think we're far beyond that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Loch-n-Load we were talking about. Look,
okay.
Here's the thing.
Alright, okay. So just make my baby back to the way he was, because the thing is, he did a lot more damage back in the day, because that was awesome. Like, doing more damage for less clip size. That's totally acceptable, honestly. That's a nice balance. Problem is, then they changed it to he's got 3 shots, and we were like, oh, shit son, 3 shots, all the damage. Then, they made it damage to versus buildings only.
And it has increased firing speed.
It's like the moment where you see your child go off to do something that, you raised him in such a good way, and then he just, like, goes off and does something terrible. It's like...
It's crack.
Yeah, something like that.
Here's the thing, right? Originally, it was a really nice, like, basically a direct hit for the Demo Man. Well, that was a really smart idea. I don't normally like a lot of Demo Man's items. Well, I don't like the sticky one launcher. That's for the story for another day. But it was a nice, like this is the Demo Man's direct hit. That's what it was. But they're like, let's change it to destroying buildings. And the reason that pisses me off so much is the Demo Man already has such destructive power against buildings. A sticky bomb spamming, particularly, is a direct counter to not just buildings, but fucking everything. And I would almost say, like, even if you're using the Loch-n-Load, chances are, and you're fighting a sentry gun this, you're probably going to use stickies.
Yeah.
Still.
It's a lot safer to use sticky bombs against buildings, because you don't have to be in line of sight. Even the stock grenade launcher, it's easy to use against buildings. So
exactly. In fact, if anything, the Loch-n-Load's harder to use against buildings, because you can't bounce it off a wall or anything.
And the problem, like, doesn't the the grenades explode on contact? But do they just fizzle?
They fizzle.
If they don't hit something with a certain amount of time, so you can't lob things over the top.
No, yeah, well, yeah.
They fizzle. They don't explode.
Well, I don't know if they fizzle if you don't over a certain amount of time, but they certainly don't. They fizzle if you don't hit a player / building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if they've got a certain flight time. I haven't used it in so long.
Yeah,
I've forgotten.
I used it a bit. Like, the model was broken when it first came out as well. It's fucking sight on it. The sight thing was like stuck inside of it, and they didn't change it for like years. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Oh, that weapon is just it's just a disaster.
Bit of a train wreck. All right. Overdose.
Oh yes.
Change the overdose so that it it's more viable because the thing is, with the medic's recent buff, all mediguns allow you to travel at the same speed as your heal target, which was essentially a buff for all his mediguns, and the quick fix was just stayed the same.
I'm pretty sure that the idea of the overdose is a fleeing tool.
Yeah, it's a fleeing tool, but the problem is you have to have an uber meter, like a certain amount of uber meter to use it.
I think the scenario is you're healing someone, running into battle. Your heal target explodes. You don't want to lose your uber. You use it, like in that sense, to run away.
Yeah.
But I think my personally, to make the overdose better, is to just increase those things. Like, number one, a lot of people say, make it so it doesn't have to be active for the speed buffs to come in.
And that's all I was gonna say. Just make it so that while you're holding it, the more uber you have, the faster you can run.
Yeah, and also the movement speed is actually significant because it's pretty minor right now. It's like not enough.
It's only what, 10%?
Something like that.
It's 10%. No, it's 1% for every 10% you have uber. So you're only getting a plus 10% speed boost.
At max.
At max.
Yeah, it should be like more than that, and also other things. And like and then people use it as a running away tool, and I like that. I don't mind that because, like I was saying, I really like the Vita Saw. I like reserving my Uber charge. Because fucking stock minigun takes for fucking ever to charge up, and you lose that shit. It's devastating, man. So I'd probably even use the overdose if it. I haven't used it since it came out. Personally.
I mean, I used to use it a little because I was like, oh, Uber update, it's the weapon, it's the cool weapon, and then I went, this is shit.
That's not even the cool weapon from the Uber update. The quick fixes, if you ask me.
It was, but it was a syringe gun. It was like, it looks cool. It's like a prototype syringe gun, but yeah.
Right. Any other weapons you can think of off the top of your head that you want fixed other than pyro weapons?
Other than pyro weapons.
We got a massive...
Because that's later. Loch-n-Load, Overdose.
Two big ones right now.
Honestly, those are the two big ones that I would like to see fixed.
I mean, there are lots of others, obviously. And if we actually sat here and thought about it, we could probably sit here all day talking about it. We're just moving things along. We'll go straight to the pyro, and... I don't know, should we get the big one out of the way first?
Yeah, let's do the big one out of the way.
The flog.
Okay. Personally, the flog to me is okay. I like using it, and the way it's designed reflects its mechanics. It doesn't have an air blast because, okay, here's a bit of trivia for you. Phlogistinator is, I looked it up. Phlogiston.
Oh, yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah. The idea of phlogiston, it was a debunked scientific theory in which there was a particle in all matter called phlogiston. Now, there was more of it in more combustible objects and less of it in non-combustible. So the idea was that more combustible objects, say like wood or, plant matter, hay, things like that, they had so much phlogiston in them that it was easy to burn quicker. But, things like metal and iron and things like that, they didn't have as much phlogiston in them, so you couldn't ignite them. And the idea with the Phlogistinator is, instead of actually burning people, it's only an inductor. It activates the phlogiston inside these objects, which burns them.
Yeah. So you're actually shooting a beam at people.
Yeah, rather than fire.
That ignites them from the inside.
Yeah. It's not a flamethrower. It's a particle accelerator, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and that's why it doesn't have an air blast.
Yeah, because that's all it is. It's just a particle accelerator. I respect the flog more.
Yeah.
That. I think it's I thought, pretty cool design and all that. Now, that's really cool. It's like they're not shooting a weird fire laser beam. It's shooting particles.
Yeah, it's
particle accelerator. Rather.
Yeah, and the way flog is designed, I think it's really good. However, I would as far as changing mechanics, I would increase the damage you would need to activate your oomph meter.
Yes.
I would keep you invulnerable while you're using it, while you're activating it. But the thing is, it's a nice counter because you're invulnerable while you're activating it. But time after time after time, I stand there and soldiers and scouts just go behind me and just wait. While I'm taunting, I can't do anything, and they just wait there. They look at me, and that second after I deactivate my the invulnerability, dead.
Well,
but it's a nice trade-off.
Well, exactly. The idea is supposed to be like a flanking tool.
Yeah.
You do it around a corner. You do torn around a corner, and then you come around with the crits. Look, here's the thing, man. You expect me to have lots to say about the Flog, and I kind of do. I don't like using it for the pure fact that it is a dick move, and I don't enjoy using it because I feel cheap, right? I don't demean. Look, people ask me this as well. Some people told me this in the comments, and they say, am I a bad person for using the reserve shooter or the Flog? The way I see it is, if it's a weapon in the game, Valve have intended it to use it, man. It's there at your don't. I feel like if you're happy using a weapon, if it works for you and you enjoy using it, use it, man. Personally, I don't like using the Flog because I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I think there is a way that you can make it balanced, and it's very simple. One is, yes, more fire damage. It takes more fire damage to build up the oomph. And the other one is you're less damage resistant in general. And the reason for that is that it encourages less W plus M1. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
you can't just run up at people because you're more vulnerable to them, right? So that way, while you're kind of like building up your oomph and stuff like that, and
perhaps when you've got it activated, it allows normal resistant damage. But while you're building it, it gives you a bit of damage increase on you.
Yeah.
So it gives you
makes you
more vulnerable. Yeah. So while you've got it activated, you don't have any debuffs, but while you're building your meter,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the reason for that is right now what the Flog is too little risk, too much reward, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up the risk to match the reward.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to nerf it in the sense of which I think it's too OP with its fucking the reward aspect. I could bring that down. I could say you don't get the invulnerability. You don't. The crits
mini crits instead of crits.
That's but I don't want to do that. I don't want to be mean to the weapon like that. I think right now, like I say, not enough risk.
Too much reward.
I'm trying to build up the risk so the reward can feel more rewarding as well. For me, that's a big thing. That's why a little bit of the reason why I use the extinguisher so much, because even though it's harder to use now, it's so much more rewarding. Yeah,
and going back to that risk reward situation, it's not like with the medigun where you spend what feels like hours and hours and hours building up your uber charge, and then you finally get it. It's like, yes, I can change the game. Yeah. When I'm using the Flog, it's like, oh look, my meter's full, time to charge.
Yeah, pretty much. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Right now.
So I think if we make it that little bit harder, if Valve makes it that little bit harder, I should say, because we don't have any direct contact, it just might make it a bit more, as you said, rewarding.
Well, and that's the thing, right? And the reason I also because you could do that just by lowering the amount that it takes, but I think it still encourages W plus M1. And that's my kind of goal with a lot of these weapons. You'll find is I'm trying to discourage W plus M1 play. And I think by making it, because I don't want to give it air blast. It would make sense. I like it not having air blast. I like it being the weapon that doesn't have it.
It's like on that scale you made. It's the weapon that ultimately, you're forsaking air blast, but you get more damage as a reward. And it's a good concept. It's a good well-rounded weapon. It just needs some tweaking.
Yeah. So I think that it would discourage W plus M1 as much, and the reward would be so much better, and it could almost become like more of a game changer rather than just a thing you can spam. Hey guys, it's Ihasnotomato. If you have any of your own ideas that you'd like to share, please leave a comment because I'll be reading them and probably even replying to them. I try and read and reply to as many comments as I can. And also we might be doing a final bonus episode reading your guys' suggestions or things that you might like to see in the Pyro update coming up. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.